You don't like coffee, right?
I never really had it. I'm a tea man.
This is Father William, and Father William is a tea guy. It's because of this that I've come all the way to Hawaii to save Father William from his pit of despair.
I never thought of tea and coffee that way.
Father William and I go back to a time when I knew him as Brother Bill, and we were attending Hawaii Loa College together. For a moment, I thought this might have been God's sign to bring me back to the fold, instead of me being the one to lead him astray. But now we're back hanging out again, and I'm staying at the rectory and doing the things that I could never do as a young Catholic. Oh, it takes a lot more than I expected.
Yes.
One of the oddities of coffee is that historically it has been impossible to find great coffee in coffee-growing regions, including Hawaii. That's been changing over the years with new coffee shops opening all around the world, and since Father William is in need of conversion, I thought we'd take him on a tour of the coffee shops of Naalehu and see if we can bring him into the fold and show him the light of coffee. So let's get to it.
Let her rip.
Our first stop is a place called Honua's Coffee House, which is almost literally across the street from the rectory. Open since August 2020, Honua's took over the space of the old Hawaii Island Inn and features a warm, inviting atmosphere with murals of owls and an octopus with a very living room kind of feel. And there was the lovely Kamalani to welcome us. What's your best coffee?
I want to say our most popular, especially if you don't like coffee, is a caramel macchiato.
You want to teach him about nice quality coffee. So what's your best straight coffee?
Like a drip coffee or a double shot of espresso. The drip coffee, it's a Ka'u coffee blend. It's a medium dark roast.
Let's start with that.
Yeah.
Let's have one of those, please.
We have small, medium, large. We can also do this hot or we can do this ice.
Let's have one of each.
Okay, sounds good.
One of each, a hot and a cold.
You guys just want to go ahead and do it straight?
Just straight.
Then we'll go from there.
We'll add if we need. So what's the cold brew? How do you guys brew the cold brew?
Technically, we don't have, it's just iced coffee. We don't do the cold brew process. It's pretty much just the hot coffee cooled down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So you just brew it like in a batch brew?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. All right.
So it's the exact same coffee, just iced.
Is there any particular ratio of coffee that we're using?
Not really. It's more of per pot. We want to make at least 1 cup of grinded coffee per pot. So like for 2 pots, 2 cups kind of stuff. Yeah.
We've got 2 coffees, and these are the same coffees, just one is hot and one is cold. So we'll start with the hot. If we look at the color is a pretty deep dark brown, right? Okay. Which could be an indication of brew strength or brew ratio. How we normally taste coffee is we want to smell it first, okay?
Does smell good.
It smells good, okay. Any aromas, discernible aromas that you're picking up that you would describe?
A smokiness.
Smokiness.
I could smell it's like a smokiness, but I'm not a connoisseur of coffee.
That's all right. Here's the thing. When it comes to appreciating coffee, you don't have to be a connoisseur. It's really just about what do you enjoy? What do you find enjoyable in the coffee? That's really what we're here to explore.
Okay.
All right, so next we want to take a taste. You don't mind sharing, do you?
No. Got your shots? I'm joking.
No. Of course. So just a little sip. It's going to be hot, so just be careful when you're sipping. And the idea is that you want to maybe sip and slosh it around the palate a little bit, just to get exposure to all of your senses.
Yeah. It's pretty strong.
When you say strong,
It's got a heavy, overpowering flavor to it, something I've never had before. Earthy, to me, it's got no real oomph to it. It has that lingering taste on the palate.
how would you describe that lingering taste?
Well, it's not unpleasant. It's more of the lingering taste of the coffee as it dissipates. But then it's got the smokiness. I don't know how to explain it. It tastes like something that's very earthy, smoky. It's got a little hint of a licorice taste.
Licorice. Interesting.
Almost like the smoked tea.
Oh,
It's
kind
got
of like
that-
a lap sushi.
Yeah. It has that strong taste from the first brew, which is overpowering for me.
So, are you having a positive reaction to it?
It's neutral.
A neutral.
Yeah, something I can get used to, but this is like literally the first time I've had coffee, besides a little sample here and there. And of course, coffee ice cream.
Of course.
Very different.
Of course.
It's nothing that's not unpleasant. Maybe a lighter roast would have been nicer for me. This is dark roast,
She said medium to dark.
but it looks pretty dark to me. It's strong for me.
Yes.
'Cause I'm like I said, I'm not used to it.
Let's try the cold brew, iced coffee.
What's a lot less strong than the hot one. I can smell a little bit, but this one is much more stronger. But I guess because it's watered down.
Well, I don't know if it's watered down, but when it's hot, it's
Flavors
still,
come off.
the steam is still coming off it, right? So it's yeah. But okay, give it a taste.
This one I like more because I can taste it better. I can taste a little bit of like a berry. For me, it's lighter. For
Yeah,
me.
I definitely think that the cold kind of tones down a lot of the flavors. With the hot coffee that you were talking about, like, I agree with you. I do think that it's pretty heavily roasted for my tastes. And that smokiness you're getting is, I think, because of the roast profile. It's a darker roast. So that gives a little bit of a charred effect, a little bit of that smokiness.
That's what it has. The charred effect.
Yeah.
That's the word I was looking for. The charred effect.
You also mentioned that you tasted an earthiness to it. That earthiness to me is indicative of something that we call CBB damage. And CBB damage is the coffee berry borer, which is this little like insect that burrows through the coffee. That gives that earthy, muddy kind of taste to the coffee because the coffee's damaged.
So you think that happened with this as well?
It tastes like it.
I think if it was sweetened, maybe a little cream, it might be a little different. That might be something I would like more because I'm always used to drinking when I drink hot tea with cream and sugar.
How much cream and sugar do you normally put?
For a cup of this size, so it'll turn it white.
But how much sugar?
3 to 4 lumps.
3 to 4 in a size like this?
Yeah, I like it a little sweet.
Yeah.
I like
get
that.
it.
As a priest, you got to be sweet sometimes.
Oh, true. Since you're raining down fire most of the day.
Yes.
I have not gone to confession since I've been here. I don't want to confess my sins to an old friend. It could be one of those, you need to say 2,400 Hail Marys and 5,000 Our Fathers. All right, let me go get some more cream and sugar, and then we'll taste again. Here we go. We got our coffee backs. Now, here's the interesting thing. So I put quite a lot of cream, especially in the hot one. The roast and ratio are pretty heavy, so I couldn't get it to be white.
That's okay.
But I did put equal amounts of sugar in both, which the dissolution rate in the cold is slower. So there's 3/4 of a tablespoon of sugar. Here, give that a try.
It's not as strong. I guess it's diluted a little bit because of the milk or the cream.
Oh, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, that's definitely been toned down and and softened by the cream and sugar. But I also think that the intensity of the flavor has also been diminished. Now it's a much more diluted taste.
For me, it's more palatable. But it's good. It's nice.
All right, let's try the other one. Try the other one.
I like the hotter one. To me, there's more flavor in the hot. This one's a little too diluted.
All right. Any conclusions or thoughts on the coffees?
I do like the coffee with the cream and sugar because I guess because I'm used to it, it's more comforting. Perhaps if we had a coffee that was not as strong and perhaps something that was not as charcoaly flavor, then I probably might enjoy that even more.
Well, we're gonna go and try a couple more shops and see if we can find out. Hopefully, we can find something that will convert Father William into a coffee drinker. See you guys. Bye-bye. Yeah, they're really nice here. Cute place. The coffee's a little bit bitter, a little bit roasted, maybe a little defecty, but that's all right. A little bit of cream and sugar helps.
It did help.
It's a good start, but time to check out the next shop, which is also kind of across the street. This isn't totally surprising considering that Naalehu is only slightly larger than 2 square miles. So how do you like being in this town?
But it's a nice town. The people are good. They rented the house. I see that lady sitting there all the time I pass by this area.
Situated across from the Punalu'u Bake Shop, my favorite bake shop, and behind Ace Hardware, Ka Lae Coffee moved to this location after new ownership took over in 2020.
When the plantations were around, and also the paymaster, but it's gone now. And Dr. Juliff, he just retired on the 31st of last month because of heart conditions. So, and that's pretty much it of the town. Now it's an Ace Hardware.
This newer shop is modern and sexy, bringing a cosmopolitan feel to this sleepy town. Hello. What's your name?
Teresa.
Carissa?
Teresa.
Teresa.
Yeah,
Okay, great.
welcome.
Thank you. What we're interested in is coffee.
Yeah.
What's your best coffee?
I would say our Americanos are very popular if you're just wanting like a black
What's the best
coffee.
quality? Because you grow your own coffee?
Yes, we do.
Okay,
so
what's
our
your best
coffee
quality?
is 100% Ka'u coffee. It's grown like 4 miles up the road.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would say if you want just black coffee, Americano with a little bit of cream is really good. Or we could do lattes. Those are delicious if you want more like milky, creamy kind of drink.
Let's do the Americano.
Americano?
Hot,
All
please.
right. Small, medium, large.
How many shots in each one?
So we have 2 shots for the small and then 3 shots for the medium and large.
Let's just do the small, please.
Small, all please. Do you want any room for cream or sugar in that?
No, just like that.
Just black. Okay. So it's a little hot and we ran out of sleeves. So did you want a second cup?
Yeah, why not? That sounds
Okay.
great. That sounds great. Evidently, they only have Americanos, and so it's going to be a little bit of a different experience. Americanos basically are double shot of espresso, and espresso is basically a concentrated way of brewing your coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And then they dilute it with water to create a 12-ounce drink.
Oh, okay.
Right, so it's called Americano because back in the World War II, American soldiers were in Italy. They only made espresso in Italy, and they wanted to have American-style coffee, so the Italians started diluting their espresso, calling it Americano. But since you gave us 2, I can split them, and then we can kind of share.
It's lighter in color.
It is lighter in color.
It's a lighter taste or smell.
Now be careful then, because they're using the water from the espresso machine, it's superheated, so it's much hotter than the coffee
noticed.
we're drinking
And
earlier.
they didn't give you the sleeve. How rude.
Well, they ran out. That's
Oh,
why they
okay.
gave us double cup.
Oh, I see.
So-
Okay, cheers.
Cheers. Now, one thing we could do is we could also wait for it to cool down a little bit more.
Yeah.
That will give it. When it's really hot, it occludes the flavor of the coffee. So as it cools, you get better representation of the flavor,
Well, this is not as strong as the other one.
and the
you know?
bitterness is much lower.
Yeah. It doesn't have that charcoal as much. I can taste it.
You still can taste
It's like
it.
a roasting. I guess that's the
Okay.
roasting process. Maybe because my palate is delicate for tea, you know. I don't know.
For me, I don't get the roastiness like that.
Well, I get it as a slight flavor.
Okay.
It's not overpowering as the other one was. This one is livable,
Okay.
but maybe the espresso would have been, better by itself. I don't know.
Well, I didn't go the espresso route. Since this is your first round of coffee, I didn't want to hit you with this heavier, intenser kind of coffee. Since we had previously brewed coffee,
Yeah.
I wanted to have more of an apples to apples kind of comparison between the places.
But I do like this one better because it's not as strong.
Right.
But
I agree.
it reminds me of a pea berry, but this one is not bad.
To me, it's lighter bodied, and I get a little bit of like a citrusiness, almost like a bergamot-ish character to it.
That's one I didn't recognize in that.
I was getting a little bit of maybe a kind of mandarin character to it, but it could be more of a bergamot-ish.
There's a Millieur of Flavors in this thing.
Because to me, it's a crisper coffee,
Yeah.
and definitely a brighter, like a little bit of acidity to it.
Yeah. I think I can live with this. With maybe cream and sugar, of course.
With cream and sugar, of course.
I don't know if I can take it flat, or what do you call it, straight?
Straight. Well, you're taking it straight now.
I know, but I don't know if I can take it forever.
Forever and ever.
I like the cream. That it makes it more subtle. I know it flattens the flavors a little bit, but to me it also brings out a lot more flavors with the cream and the sugar. The sweetener.
Really?
It brings out the bergamot. It brings out the tea flavor.
Okay. If I put milk into the tea, I found it to be a little bit diminishing, but a little bit of sugar, I do find pops the flavor for me personally.
Wonderful explanation on that one. With the acidity in this, or the earthiness still, I think the cream would help. Well, maybe I'd have to try it without cream and just put some sugar in there.
You want some sugar?
No, I'm good right now.
Okay.
I'm just getting used to the stuff. Now, I know maybe I can get pastries from next door at Punalu'u Bakery and then have some coffee over here.
This would go well with Lilikoi Malasadas.
Yes, but I think with the sweetness of the Lilikoi and this coffee, it would blend.
We should find out. I'll be right back. All right, we can't. The line was too long. Just have to
Imagine.
imagine based on our tasting of the malasadas before.
I think this would accentuate the Malasada because it's very sweet. It's got that citrus of the Lilikoi.
Punalu'u Bakery makes this Malasada that has Lilikoi, like a topping on it, a frosting. And it's really, really sweet. Like you said, the acidity and the sweetness kind of overpower it a bit. I agree with you. I think this would be
perfect for that.
Perfect with it, perfect. And I gotta say, the Malasada here, that was the best Malasada I've ever had. Like, you know, the other Malasadas are spongy and like they're springy, but they're also kind of dry.
Yeah.
This is really nice and moist and delicious, and I think it's the best one I've had yet.
Like I've told people, always trust the fat man. We know where to eat.
We speak with authority today.
Yes, we do. Not just because of the collar either.
All right, so how about conclusions about the coffee?
This I would like it, and I like it more since it's not as hot. It's more lukewarm. This is fine.
So it is very enjoyable.
But a good Earl Grey would be good too.
I think this has a lot of like tea characteristics that are similar to
Maybe
Earl Grey,
that's why
to
I
me.
like it, because it does have that quality. I would drink this,
Good.
you know, especially on a cold day. You know, if I was back in Wisconsin, back in the seminary, I would probably survive on this if they didn't have tea.
All right, there it is. We have one more stop to make, so let's hit it.
All right.
In the Hawaiian language, Ka Lae means the point. And I'm presuming the coffee shop is named after Ka Lae Point, which is about 15 miles south of here. Ka Lae is one of the earliest Hawaiian settlements, and it is suspected that this is the place where Polynesians first arrived in the islands after their voyage from Tahiti. In modern times, local people come here to relax and fish, with a spot known for its cliff jumping and deep water fish like ulua, onaga, and ahi. I've been coming here for many years and have longed to jump into the crystal clear waters, but currents here can be deadly. It's better to go a bit further down the road to Kaulana Bay if you want to get yourself wet. But we're not going there today. Next up is the coffee shop at Miranda's Coffee Farm, which is about 6 miles away. It's a short drive, but it seems kind of long after our last 2 stops. Oh, baby, wow, look at that, he's huge. Oh yeah, Malamute. What's up, baby? We've arrived at Miranda Coffee Farms, and they're just outside of Naalehu. You can see the trees here. So this is our 3rd stop there, Father William. I gotta tell you, it's kind of weird to call you Father William.
Yeah, me too.
Aloha Miranda Coffee Farm. Hi, how are you? We are taking Father on his first journey of coffee.
So we have 3 different varieties of coffee that we grow here from farm to cup. The 2 that we have is the red Catuai and the typical. The red Catuai originated in Brazil. It just made 2nd place in the state, 1st in the region last year in the Hawaii Coffee Cupping Association. It's a little bit smoother than your everyday coffee. It's less acidic. It's just got a milder taste to it. The typical tends to be a little more robust. You want to try them both?
Please.
Medium and dark roast, or what do you prefer?
Yeah, I think the medium would be good because the dark is a little strong.
Yes. Okay. Funny thing is, I don't drink coffee.
You don't drink coffee?
I don't drink coffee, no.
Oh.
So this one that you have here, this is the red Catuai, and then this is the
This is the stronger one.
Some people say it's a bit more robust.
This one doesn't smell as strong as this one though. Yeah?
Well, does that smell fruitier, or?
I don't know how to
Oh yeah,
distinguish.
it's hard. Everyone's palate's different too, so
Yeah.
you know everyone has a different taste to the coffee.
We've been to a couple shops already, and the first one was very chocolatey. I think is the right word.
Chocolatey,
Was
a
it?
little bit on the
Yeah.
darker side, burn.
Yeah. And
Everyone's
then,
got different roasting recipes too.
Then we had the other one by Punalu'u, and that one was pretty good.
Oh
I
yeah?
actually liked it. I can survive on it.
Oh, the one right across the Honua. I mean, not
the
Honua, it's
Ka
Ka Lae Coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got good coffee over there. I've been over there too.
There's the bitterness in there. I actually like this one more.
You like that one more?
I don't know which one that one was.
I think that one was the Typica. I think that's the second one.
Typica?
Yeah. It's all freshly roasted and packaged
It
by
has-
the week, and it's just harvested. Harvest season was started in October, and it's continuing till probably around March. And this is a fresh batch right here.
Oh, so this just came
This
finished.
just
Oh,
this
all right.
this is straight from the plant, straight to the table.
For some reason, I like this one more.
Yeah, everyone's palate's different. There's no wrong answers here.
If you don't drink coffee, do you taste the coffee?
I sample all the coffee.
Okay.
So for me, it's like, okay, this one's a little less bitter. This is a little more bitter. This one's a little bit smoother. You know, it's never like, oh my gosh, I love this, but I'm not gonna not try the coffee. I need to be able to explain to people what they're tasting, you know? So of course I tried it all. It wasn't the best, but I had to do it. It's good though.
So which coffee appeals to you more?
I like the red Catuai more. The Brazilian specialty coffee.
And that's not these two.
No. Yeah, that was that
this
one.
one.
That was this one. Okay.
Yeah, that's the Brazilian specialty.
What's this one then?
That's the typica. So that one originated in Arabica, whereas that one originated in Brazil. We grow it here in our land, so now it's Ka'u coffee. And we have ash-based soil over here because of our proximity to the volcano, and that helps a lot with the acidity of coffee. So that's why we're able to get such good scores when we do the cupping competitions. A lot of it tolls into the fruit. Soil, weather, all of it. Like the red Catuai is grown at 2,400 feet in elevation at the top of this farm.
So does this farm only have two types of coffees?
No, we do have a third variety of coffee. I don't have it for sampling. It's naturally 40% less caffeinated. It's yellow Caturra. The majority of coffee ripens to be red. We have this yellow Caturra that ripens to be yellow. It's a little bit fruitier. It's definitely milder. It's even less acidic and less bitter. It's almost like a tea of coffee, which I wish I had for you to sample, but I don't have it today. The only thing is 40% less caffeinated, and if you got a dark roast of that, it'd be even less. And it's all naturally, so some people, like, they have heart problems and they kind of drink caffeine. So then the yellow Caturra is a good option for that. And, you know, I wish I had that for you to try right now because it's almost like a tea of coffee.
I live in Naalehu, so
you could come back, yes, and then I'll specially make one.
No, don't want to do that. But make sure it's a big pot. But anyway, no.
I'll do a whole one.
But I did like the.
You like that one?
What is it?
That's the typica.
Typica.
Yes.
This one tastes a little more like a fruitiness.
Yes.
You know, it's this one. And this is.
That's parchment. So when you open up one of these, it's got two slimy half beans in there. That's because coffee's a fruit, and then fruit has pectin. So what we do is we pulp it. You can wash it, you cannot wash it. Depends on how you process your coffee. Leave that out to dry, and then it dries up to be like this, which is parchment. Parchment's the outer layer. Yeah, you can. What we do next is we would put it in. It's like husking garlic, almost. We say it's like. You have to take that off, and underneath it's one more layer. It's called the silver skin. That also has to come off, and underneath that, you have green bean. And this is what it looks like when it's all husked. And this is what you roast. You can buy it like this and roast it yourself at home if you'd like to, but
Easier if you guys did it.
yes.
You know what
And
you're
then you roast it to your preferred roast.
Oh, okay, I
it
like
all-
that.
Yeah, and
didn't
it
know
all
this
starts like
peels.
this on the tree.
And does it have the same smell as that? No, because that's roasted, right?
Yes. Well, this is roasted. This is just husked. So they all have a different smell. They all are a different
This
kind
one
of
has
process.
like a fruit. I don't know. It's got like a fruit smell.
All about jewelry. They're having a
Clean. Smells clean. That's good.
Friday last November 11th through the 12th.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I
of
never knew
course.
about this stuff. Still trying to convert me for coffee, but
But no.
it's,
Can't
it
beat
looks like
tea?
it can be.
Oh,
There's
really?
a possibility, but I'm still a teaholic.
Oh, well. Everybody's got their preferences, you know? I don't know.
Iced latte with a little bit of chocolate?
That's what I do.
Okay, that's what you would have?
Yes.
Okay, I'll have that.
You want to have that one?
Yeah. I'll
Okay,
try
you
what
want a small one or a
I will
large
try
one?
what you would have. Small.
Okay, a small one? Okay. Yeah, we've got, we even have coffee cubes. Yeah, this,
That's pretty cool.
it is, yeah. A lot of people are like, oh, light on the ice. I don't want to dilute my coffee. And I'm like, don't worry, it's coffee cubes.
So are you using the same coffee as the espresso?
It's the same coffee as your drip coffee.
Okay.
That we have cold.
What's the difference with the espresso then?
Oh, the espresso, it's a typica.
Okay.
So out of the varietals, we use typica in there. We use like about 80% medium roast and then 20% dark roast, and then it's like a little blend of the typica.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I always passed your farm, but it never came in.
Yeah, that's how I used to be too. You know, I lived right down the road, and forever I would drive past, and then one day I stopped, and then I was like, oh, that's good. I'm coming back. I stumbled across here, and I used to come every day as a regular customer, get my chocolate latte, and then finally they let me work here. I was like, please let me work in here. I know what I'm doing, I promise. And then they're like, okay.
This is espresso.
Yes.
For breakfast, they have muffins and espresso.
Oh. That's where you just have like the regular shot of it. Espresso is strong.
I don't know. Cocaine or something.
Hello. You want whipped cream?
As you would have it.
I don't put whipped cream.
You don't?
I don't.
Perfect.
Okay.
As you would have it is how I would like to have it.
Alright.
Are you Maria?
Yes.
I'm Jay.
Here you are.
Hi, Jay.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. Bob has mentioned good things about you.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
okay, yes. Yeah, he said he was very adamant that I should come visit.
Oh,
so.
very. Oh my gosh. I'll have to tell. Wait.
Escalante?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
We're really good friends.
Dorothy,
Okay.
what do we like?
Nice.
Nice.
So my mother Berta, the company started in '06. Now the coffee shop, we've had it for, I'd say a little over 2.5 years.
Okay.
Welcome, hello, hi.
Are you Miranda?
I am one of them. We have a few. I was just telling the story. If you want to listen in, you're welcome to. My parents, my mother and father, and they started the company in '06. They migrated from El Salvador. They sought asylum in California. And during the time, the early 90s, there was a Salvadoran civil war at hand. So they escaped that, and they sought refuge in California, and they came here. My father's vision was always to be an agronomist, an agriculturist, a farmer really, to understand coffee. He was always fascinated with that in El Salvador. So they're from the eastern side, Ilo Vasco, and so he was always fascinated with the growth of coffee and the cultivation. So his brother called him and said, hey, you have to come here. Hawaii is the land of flowing milk and honey. So they made it out here. I was 14 months old. It was a little shack in a grove of like 40 acres of oranges, not coffee. So my father became an orange picker, a farmer, and then became a ranch hand. Now we're fast forwarding like 5 years later. And he started a beautiful coffee farm, and that actually was the birth of Miranda Farms. Years and years of just, perseverance and that faith. And for my family, God is the foundation. Wow. So that's, just faith. Yes. Of course, we have different varietals. My father prides himself in growing a very specific type of coffee. This is Typica. 90% of the coffee found on the island in Hawaii consists of Typica. So it's a Arabica coffee. The yellow Caturra is a Bourbon hybrid. So this coffee is very unique. It has a single gene within the tree. It's like a mutant gene, and it caused dwarfism. And the trees are smaller, hence the size. So the yellow Caturra holds a very fruity, very aromatic compared to Ethiopian coffee. So a lot of character and profile. This is very robust, so you've got a lot of nut and chocolate. And this here, the red Catuai, is our newest award-winning coffee. Last year we won second place in the state of Hawaii, first place in the region, so very, very humbling. I didn't know I was giving a speech, but...
That was wonderful, wonderful. I went out and I grabbed a couple beans off the tree. These are, I guess, the Typicas, Kona Typica, old one. Mm-hmm. So this is something that you can smell it. Kind of smell it.
Fruity.
Coffee goes through a period. They go from green to yellow to orange to red, crimson, and then they start to get raisiny and then rotty. This is a red moving towards crimson. So when you pick the coffees, you want to pick them like red and crimson. That's for the optimal flavor. Just squeeze gently and you'll slowly get the splitting of the cherry, allowing the coffee beans to escape. There's a little bit of
the juice.
Yeah, a little bit of juice coming up, but try not to like lose them, because what I want you to do is I want you to squeeze them out and then taste the actual beans.
Oh, it's sweet.
It's sweet, so you can kind of suck on them a little bit. There might be a little bit of fibrous material between the two. The coffee beans are covered in what we call mucilage. Mucilage is this pulpy, sweet matter that to me kind of has the texture, something similar to grape, right?
I can taste that.
Yeah. So what do you think about the flavor of the, you can get rid of the husk if you want.
It's good. It does taste like grape, but it's got a little slime, like sort of like okra.
Right, right. So when we talk about processing of the coffee, you may have heard like wash processing, natural processing. For the wash processing, well, basically it's a matter of removing this pulpy sweet matter. And so typically here in Hawaii, since there is a lot of water, they'll take these pulp-covered beans, put them into a water bath. Depending on the location, it may take 16 to 36 hours for that fermentation to happen, removing this pulpy matter. And then you dry it out and leaving that parchment that Emma was showing us. And that parchment is then dry hulled, leaving the green bean. And that's essentially how you go from seed to cup.
I like it.
Or you could keep that, and these you can plant into the ground.
Like this right now?
Yep, just like that.
Oh.
So what did you think of the coffees?
The coffees, some of them are good. I like the Typica.
Okay.
And then the Catuai, that was a dark roast. And then I found that the other coffee that we had right by Punalu'u was actually a lot better. And as long as it's not that hot, I think it was easier for me to take, and I can taste the flavors a little bit more. And then finally here, I got latte.
Okay.
Or whatever they called it.
But it was blended, right?
Yeah, blended. The actual ice that's in here was actually coffee. So it's all coffee with chocolate in it. And it's actually very nice. I can survive on this.
Oh yeah, that's what I had. I had something similar. That was very pleasant. The chocolate they use gives it a very like Hershey-esque quality, like a really milk chocolatey quality to it.
And that was one of the things I wanted to mention. I couldn't place the flavor until you mentioned it. Was the coffee had some hint of cocoa in it. Ka'u.
You mean the first one at
one.
Honua? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Honua. It had the coffee that's unsweetened. There was a flavor I couldn't place, and then when you said it, that's the flavor.
Oh, okay.
That's the flavor, because it had that overly chocolatey flavor, which I was not too thrilled with. But I did like the second one that we went, and here, with this iced coffee thing. So I'll come back here to get one of these. Especially for my long drive from Naalehu to Kona. It'll keep me awake, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, it's on the way. It's on the way. That's nice.
On the way back, I don't know what's going to happen. But yeah.
You'll have to stop at some places in Kona to come back on the way here.
But I would probably go with coffee, still with cream and sugar.
Okay.
Because with this, it's got the creamy, it's in there, and the sugar, and I think I can survive on that. If it's flat by itself or straight up, I think it's a little difficult, unless I was eating pastries like the Lilikoi, Malasada, something. It's something that's too sweet. You need something to counterbalance.
It's getting into the afternoon, and we've only had coffee. So we're headed back to town to grab some grinds at Sells Lunchwagon at the Ka'u Farmers Market. The market is officially open on Wednesday and Saturdays from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m., but on Monday, vendors like Joseph set up in the lot next to the church and at the intersection of Mamalahoa Highway and Niu Street. So next to the church is a flea market, so we're here going to get some Sells Lunchwagon. Sells Lunchwagon. Aloha, how are you?
Aloha, how are you?
How are you? What are we eating, Bill?
Yeah, I'll have a lechon.
I'll have the roast pork.
Okay. With the rice, half and a half or what?
Yeah,
Half and half.
Oh my gosh. I need money. I need money. Hello. Hello, how are you? I need to get some cash. I'll be right back. I have spied bananas, and I gotta have some. Okay, I'm sorry. I just saw the bananas. I got so excited, and I needed to make sure.
Don't worry about it.
20.
Do you want one?
No.
No? Oh, four is good.
$60.
Claro.
No. It's only $1.
What?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes, it's one.
60 would be better.
Okay, Father says 60.
Perfecto. Muchas gracias, padre. I live in Baltimore, so we don't
yes.
get these bananas there, so I'm very excited. What's the varietal?
Apple.
Apple bananas. So you're here every Monday?
Every Monday and Wednesday.
All right, I'm gonna put the bananas away. All right, see you
Have a
later.
good day. Bye.
Bananas. Before we left the parish earlier today, I noticed that the mango tree had dropped mangoes. Oh my goodness, so fresh. So I grabbed some mangoes, and I've got some bananas now. Oh my goodness, and they're waiting for our plate lunches. Oh. Whoa,
Well,
what
this
is that?
what we're having. This is lechon special, which is roast pork with onions and tomatoes. In the sauce, they dip the pork in with the rice.
Did I get the same thing?
You got
pancit. Oh, he gave me pancit. Mahalo, Joseph. Whew, look at that.
What's ono?
This is a ridiculous amount of food. Oh, that's why he was asking me half and half. I didn't really understand when he was asking me half and half what he meant, but he meant half pancit. And a little bit of nice tomatoes.
Good, eh?
Sarap. That's what we say.
Oh, I can't eat anymore.
All right, great. That's our exploration of coffee shops here in the coffee lands of Ka'u. We did 3 shops here today. I hope you enjoyed them. These are probably worth your while to come check out. And if you're down in this area, hope you like them.
Wonderful place, Ka'u, the district of Ka'u.
Ka'u. Aloha No Ka.
Aloha.
Well, it'll take an hour and a half for you to get there. What hotel are you staying at over there?
I don't know yet.
Oh, he was gonna call and, do you have room?